I remember being in high school and my feminist teacher did something which I look back and think of how fucking crazy it was. She told us all to stand up in class. She looks at all of us and says, go and stand on that corner of the room if you're a feminist and you believe that women deserve equal rights. Go and stand on that side of the room if you aren't a feminist and you believe women don't deserve equal rights. You know, I'd love to tell you that I was some alpha male and I was like, yeah, you know, guys, I'm gonna go stand over here and, you know, fight for the boys. Bro, I was a fucking pussy. Where do you think I stood? Over there. Over there with the crusty other girls. I stood there like a little low-T bitch, stood next to the girls saying, yeah, you know, feminism is really important because women deserve equal rights. And I promise you this is the truth. It's so clear now when I look back, but I promise you this is the truth. Only two girls, no guys, only two girls stood on that side of the room who said that, you know, feminism and equal rights isn't actually needed. What kind of girls do you think they were? They were brown, they were Muslim, and they made awesome points. They said, at least in this country, feminism has already done its job. Women have equal rights now. In other countries, certainly we still need like equal rights there. In some countries, women can't vote and stuff. They made awesome points. Like they were actually, I remember them being so intelligent and they knew about like geography and shit. You know, they were talking about this country and this country. And my teacher was somewhat impressed, but she was expecting like little brown kid me or like some of the other white kids, the white boys, to be stood on that side. Think about that pressure that I went through that day, that I fucking crumbled with, of the potential of being socially ostracized if I went over there and said, yeah, you know, women don't deserve equal rights. And that's just one kind of bakwas that I went through in school and university, where there was this whole paradigm that women are oppressed, men have got privilege. Tell me one fucking privilege. Tell me one. Write down in the comments, any woman who's watching this, send me a DM, I'm 6'1", by the way. Send me a DM or write down in the comments one fucking law that is sexist against women. One law. Tell me one law that's sexist against women. You fucking can't, because there is not one law in Western society that is sexist against women. I can tell you hundreds. Maternity leave and paternity leave. Rape cases, sexual assaults, false accusations. Women are significantly less punished for the same crime than if a man committed it. If your girlfriend or wife goes crazy and hits you and you call the police, you are more likely to be arrested as a man than that fucking psycho. Think about how fucking crazy that one statistic is. A man who is a domestic abuse victim who calls the police is more likely to be arrested himself, even though he is the victim. Every day there's a new like false accusation case coming out where some ugly, disgusting, like psychopathic woman accused a man of raping her, and it turns out after he's been in prison for months or for years that she's like, oh yeah, you know, I just lied. And I always read the articles and it's fucking like, it's actually blows my mind. Some of the times it says her punishment was a $1,200 fine. Imagine being put in prison at the height of your life, like, you know, at the peak of your youth. You're building a business for your family. You've been training so fucking hard, timing your fucking protein to maximize muscle gain, and imagine some random girl says that you raped her and everyone fucking believes her with no evidence whatsoever, especially if she's white and you're not white. You're fucked. You're fucked. You are fucked. That's the case of like the modern day. White girls and just women in general have got all the fucking power, and all they need to say is that they're still oppressed. Like, we've got the privilege. Show me the privilege. Show me the privilege. Show me one privilege that we have. The what? The privilege for the men in Ukraine and Russia to be drafted and have to be stuck inside of their country whilst their women go and fuck the world, basically. Is that a privilege for the men there? The privilege for the men here that are statistically underperforming in every age group of the education system. We don't look at the education system as a blatantly sexist towards men kind of indoctrination system, but it clearly is. If every age group, every single year, females perform better than males in every year of school, every year of university, if universities are now made up of around 60 to 70% of women, if 85% of suicides are men, this is our privilege, boys. We have the privilege to kill ourselves. We have the privilege that we have the harder life. The harder life, of course we do. And then we're not even acknowledged for the pain and the suffering that we have to go through. And of course not, like, we knew this all along. This is why when you see these like toxic misogyny YouTubers, we always say weird stuff that, you know, like feminists hate us for, and, you know, like soft low-T soy boys hate us for, where we say like, don't open up in front of a girl, don't show that vulnerability, don't show that weakness. This is why, because if you show this weakness, it's like, they're gonna think you're fucking crazy. Here I am expressing, you know, hurt for how we have been looked at in society, for how so many, like, especially average men are treated, and they'll still use this against you and say, yeah, because you're sexist or you're this or you're this. I was even like, I could tell you so many fucking stories, bro. I was with a girl and she was actually pressing me hard on this, saying like, oh, well, you know, like you men never open up, you men never do this, and that's why you'll stay alone and all this shit. And it got to the point where I realized that if I opened up to her, she would actually view me as less attractive and then therefore want to leave the relationship. And I kind of worded that to her, and you know, after that first conversation kind of died down, then I said to her like, oh, well, you know, like, why did you break up with your ex? And she says, oh, well, you know, because he just wasn't the same guy anymore. I was like, what do you mean? Oh, well, because, you know, he just kept on like being really sad and depressed about something, and you know, it's like, I'm not his mother, I'm not gonna do this. I was like, what do you mean not his mother? Well, yeah, he kept on coming over to me, you know, telling me about his problems. So he opened up to you as you say that men should, and then you broke up with him.